Good afternoon, everybody. Guess where we are? What are you
In the
laughing about?
studio because I was a little quick on the trigger there and punched the button before the countdown. It
Where's
happens.
Christine when I need her?
Right.
Anyway, it's Thursday, 1 o'clock. Opposite Saxes. We're here.
We're here and you are here because if you're listening to this, then you're here, and so are we.
Good, good. I'm glad we have that
That
covered.
was very profound, wasn't it?
It was extremely profound. I can't believe it's been a week already.
Yeah,
I guess as you get older, the times go by faster.
yeah. Well, at least you know when it's Thursday.
That's true.
Because it's
That's true.
time for the show. And so, oh, it's Thursday already? Where did the
No,
week
it's
go?
true. It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Well, at any rate, I this is a very interesting subject that's near and dear to your heart,
Well,
and
yeah.
you've made it become near and dear to mine.
Yeah.
Be-
I am a notorious proofreader and fact checker and all. And when I see something is misspelled, I jump on it. And it's just brought up the point that I think in many cases when copy is done and newspapers or whatever narratives are
Mhm.
printed and those agencies are trying to save money, who do they cut out? They cut out the proofreaders. And so sometimes,
Which could also be detrimental to them.
well, yeah.
You never know, what's on there in the fine print. And if somebody's not looking at it, that's kind of
What
scary.
brought this up initially was I saw a posting that somebody apparently saw a sign for a motel that had just reopened. It had been under remodeling and it was now reopened. And they had a sign that they put out in front that says, uh, "We're reopened and with new rats." And all. It was supposed to read now,
Opening.
now, our grand reopening with new rates.
Yeah.
How somebody could miss
I don't
the
know.
fact that they forgot the E and now it says grand reopening new rats.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah, it,
I mean, I would hope that most people would stop anyway and just chuckle about it and not give it a thought, but it leaves kind of a bad taste in your mouth.
well, but a little part of me says, did they do it on purpose to get people to notice it?
Really?
And that way they remember the motel to try something that's a little
That's kind of off the wall.
bizarre. I remember there was a beer commercial. There was a beer commercial. It might have been during the Super Bowl or something. It showed, the groundskeepers that put the team name in the
Hmm.
end zone,
Yeah.
and somebody's over there scratching their head because it said Kansas City Chefs. That this guy took all this time to
And they
put the
did
name down there and he put Kansas City Chefs instead of Chiefs.
pretty bad.
Left a letter out.
Pretty bad.
You got to go back and redo it.
Well, because you're such a fanatic on it, now you've made me, which is good. And now I'm always, and sometimes I've caught you, you've caught me more than I've caught you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand how people can't. Like when people are posting in Facebook, do they not read? They probably just auto-generate it or they say it with their voice.
Well, what they do is they rely on the
AI.
check what's it called, whatever this fact, not fact check, spell check.
Oh, spelled oh, yeah.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
type and spell check is supposed to correct it.
Not
But
always.
sometimes when you send it, it comes out. I've always had a problem, and I don't know whether it's a mild dyslexia, but when I want to type the word your, Y-O-U-R, I
Yeah.
have a tendency to type Y-O-U and forget the R and go on. When I go back to reread, and I do usually reread what I write before I send it out. You've caught some
Mhm.
of my mistakes though. Uh, Very often I notice that I will put in to check you spelling,
Mm.
and I forgot to put in your
It's
Y-O-U-R.
interesting. I think you're just rushing or you're just thinking.
Well,
You
but
think too far in advance. And
spell check sees Y-O-U as a viable word. It doesn't see it as it necessarily was you were supposed to put in your. What you put in was a correct spelling of a word.
but I thought spell check also helped you make sense of your
Yeah,
sentences.
sometimes it will correct incorrect grammar.
Yes.
But we live in a society now where everybody is texting, everybody is posting, and they're in a hurry to do it. And very often they will just misspell something, or they won't say something that's correct. They'll just say something that's wrong. And they don't take the time necessarily to proofread and fact check what they're saying.
That is my greatest fear is the texting because I have a couple of groups of people. We put ourselves in groups at this point rather than text singly. But every once in a while, I want to text one or two of those people in the group by themselves, and I don't want the others to see that text. And that's my worst fear is that I'm going to send the text to everybody and not to that one or two people that I wanted to send it to.
Yeah, well,
So I'm like getting over nuts about it, you know?
that's there again is if you send it to the group before you go any further, you can go look at the bar to see all the people that
Yes.
it's going to in the group, and usually you can go through
And-
and X out
Right.
those few people,
That's
so
right.
you narrow it to just the
But you have to make
sure.
sure that you're sending it to the right people, that you don't accidentally hit send, which is possible.
Yeah,
It's
because then you have to go back and send
oh my
another
God.
text that says, "Oops."
Oops. Yeah. Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
gotten those too. It's like butt calling.
Yeah.
You send it to somebody and you say, oops, this text was meant for somebody else.
Right.
Send it to the wrong person."
Things that are coming out of Washington. I mean, I don't know that they have proofreaders like they used to.
No.
Um,
What
just
they
or even the news. When you're watching the news and they want to quote somebody,
Well,
I question who
I
looked at
think
their.
that's where fact checking really started, was that a lot of people were just putting out information, whether it was true or not, they would just put it out there.
Mhm,
Then somebody would come back and say, "You're wrong. It didn't happen that way,
mhm,
and it happened this way." And then the person that put out the initial wrong statement
mhm.
now goes back and says, "I was either taken out of context, or what I meant to say
They
was
was.
this, but what you said was already out there."
You know where I think you got your proofreading from? Your aunt.
Well, I, I,
Convinced that
my,
that's how you got it.
my sweet Aunt Florence, she was a school teacher in her career. And those were back in the days, folks, where we kids would sit down with a piece of paper and a pen, and we would write letters to our relatives
And thank you
and
notes.
thank you notes and put them in envelopes and mail them. Physically put a stamp on it and take it to the mailbox and mail it and all. My sweet Aunt Florence would often send them back to me with spelling corrections. And she would just have a little note that would say, "Thank you very much for your note, B minus," because I misspelled or I didn't punctuate.
When you told me that, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, and the things that I create, some of my stories
Hmm.
and all that I do on a regular basis, I have a spell checker in it, and it'll even go so far as to show me where I forgot to put a comma
Good.
in.
Good. That should.
but then sometimes I will then send it out. You will read it and say you misspelled something,
Yeah.
or this is the
Yeah, I
wrong,
will.
you
Yeah,
put in the wrong
occasionally.
word.
Yeah. But I know a lot of that might be a post from Facebook and sometimes we hit wrong keys or we hit the right keys, but for some reason the wrong shows up. So
Yeah,
we have
it's
to be careful. It's too dangerous now. We all have to proofread.
yeah, and now I am so aware of it that I look at signs when we're on the highway. I
Mhm.
look at signs and I say, "Oh, look, miss,"
You
and
do.
and to the benefit of those people that put the signs up, sometimes a strong wind comes by and it'll blow a letter off or so. But when you approach a uh, an intersection or whatever, and I look down on the pavement and it says right turn only, and it's RITE. You say, "Oh,
Oh, I've
who
never seen that.
who messed up?"
Well,
And
maybe they didn't have enough letters for the other.
but
Maybe they only had the
but
ITE and
it's
didn't have the GH.
a GH and
Yeah, yeah,
C.
yeah.
It,
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
that I guess that's a possibility, but still, or left turn, it'll say LFET for left turn.
Hmm.
And it was clearly somebody put the letters down wrong before they sprayed it, and somebody didn't check it before the paint went down. Now you got to go through and take the whole thing out.
Yeah, who would have thought that you need proofers for, yeah, for street stuff, for street improvements.
Yeah, yeah. So when I go in to put things like the sign that's right behind us, his and hers, make sure, and technically, I'm not sure if that ampersand behind us is reversed. It almost looks like the and is
Yeah, I think it is reversed. Yeah, because I'm just doing it on your pad. Yeah.
yeah. So
But we got it. I mean, that, I don't think that's
you
overlooked.
overlook it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all right.
But and sometimes I jump on you because you're a lefty.
Hmm.
And so sometimes you do something
Yeah,
in
yeah, and I
reverse.
don't realize. But to me, that's just a pretty way of putting an ampersand. Maybe not a right way,
Even, yeah,
but
even
it
even if
is
it's a mistake, it's a
like a cursive
it's a
pretty way.
pretty mistake.
Yeah, well, we'll forgive you.
So,
All right.
so make sure when you write stuff, and especially if you're sending a note to us, proofread it. Make sure because you know what? We may just sit down with a red marker and correct it and send it back to you.
No, we would never do that.
I might do that just in memory of
But
my
you're dear old
sweet
man.
Aunt Florence.
All right, guys.
And
Thanks for joining us.
okay, see you again next week. Bye.